Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing a significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God.
Damn it, AD.
I think you just need to find a gentle way.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and the scene walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have been required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive whether he can issue President's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would
can't?
Be a gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse
President-
of presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, Jamie Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, Jamie Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons
Guess
is
it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jamie
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he
about
get a
this.
pardon also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that committee?
The seeking of pardons is
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold him.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama-Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators thinking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity!
Of a president who's so clearly
The
concerned about his
audacity!
own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asked, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Avocado Diablo, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. I bet you there's a few of them there. And it didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
At the end of the show, every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Night.
All right. The coffee's hot. My heart is cold. Because I'm beginning not to give a shit anymore. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel, where, should I just do an all-day NPR voice? Should I do an entire show like this and talk very softly and whatnot? That shit ain't happening. I can't help from yelling sometimes. Anyway, how y'all doing? It is Thursday, the 13th of March 2025, not Friday the 13th, Thursday the 13th, so we're safe. No Jason Voorhees or guys with chainsaws coming at you, but me, I kind of like the chainsaws that are happening in Washington, D.C. That's a weird transition, but anyway, got a lot of tabs open, so let's just get it started. I don't need to do a lot of small talk other than saying hello. Which hello song should I do? Hello. How are you? Never mind. First in the chat today, Mr. Care Soldier came in hot, gets the bell. Congratulations. Also, good morning. Bookworm Attic here bright and early. Resolute Germs in the house. Darren Root, Somnambul Nation, Attack Alpaca. Avocados Diabli, a little slow in the draw. You know what's funny too is today I had one of those glitches where, you know, you set up the show and you click the button and it says, oh, something went wrong. But it's not that something went wrong. It's just I can't see my studio. But if you click it again, you're like, oh, you're in the studio. And sometimes I make the mistake of setting up a new show because something went wrong. But then I realize, oh, wait, it's still there. It took sorry, coffee. It took me quite a while to even get into the chat, and I'm like, I'm sure there's gonna be like 8 people in the chat before I get there, and no one was there. I'm like, oh, not even AD? Come on, man. Anyway, yeah, come on, man.
Come on, man.
So anyway, also good morning, Aaron Meredith. Said Darren Root. JB's in the house. Good morning. My favorite Canadian Jaeger ponies here, and I'm sure more people are showing up as we sting. So, wait, robbed you of your bell? Oh my God! I didn't scroll all the way up. Okay. Carrot Soldier, no more bell for you. You were not first. Let's try this again. Hey, let's say hi to everybody. First in the chat today is Somnambul Nation. Yes! Yes! And I'll even get you extra sounds. Okay, there you go. I gave you Tyre's music. Yeah, that was me making a mistake, and sorry about that.
Wow.
So anyway, let's see. Anyone else show up while I've been messing up down here? Let's see. I'm scrolling down. Green Badger Outdoors is here. Good morning. How you doing? All right, we're back. Thank you, Somnambul Nation. And also, you know, Somnambul Nation has the great distinction of always being the person who tweets out the show faster than anybody, including faster than me. And in fact, here's the evidence. Did I even do this yet? Yes, I did. Good. There. See, Somnambul Nation tweet out the show. Freaking-tastic, and let's repost that because I like to repost these most of the time. I forget sometimes. And also threw in a nice little let's go. Do you understand the let's go do you understand the let's go that's coming out of my mouth? That's good. I like that one. Also, thank you, Resolute Germ with the Coco Beware. My gosh, we're going back days in the wrestling world. Good morning. Let's see. Thank you also, and then of course Tyre Alexander. Good morning, by the way, Tyre. If you're here, Tyre Alexander, the Scourge, is here somewhere. I think at least you tweeted out the show. I don't see you in the chat anywhere. But that's, oh, there you are. Did I skip you? Holy shit. What am I doing today? What's wrong with me? And Mike Savage, blarg. I missed a couple of people. All right, sorry. I apologize. But with the requisite, it's some word that starts with an R. Ric Flair. Woo! There you go. And thank you, Green Badger Outdoors, Tyre Alexander's, Swamp Fox Ghost, Amazing Disgrace, Somnambul Nation, and Resolute Germ for all retweeting my tweet of the show. And then we got another let's go from Swamp Fox Ghost. So I appreciate you all doing that. That is fantastic. I appreciate all of yous for promoting the show on your own personal social media feeds. And like I say, invite your friends, invite your neighbors, invite the trolls. Hey, if you got someone who hates you, invite them too, or hates me. I don't care. I like it when people are antagonistic in the chat. It gives me toys to play with sometimes. All right, so let's do a show. I can close this. Hang on a second. Let's, I don't need that window open. I can close that. Okay, here we go. Let's just get into it because I got a lot of stuff to talk about. First, I'm going to go through some of the things that are, there's a lot of things that just kind of repeat on the trending topics on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Good morning, the Alexander. So we have a tire Alexander and we have the Alexander. Now, I don't know, the Alexander, if you must be new, but welcome to the show. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button or all that, just do it. You might not like me. You might like me. You might hate my guts. You might think I'm a jagoff. You might think I'm the coolest guy in the world. I don't care. Just subscribe to the channel. You'll find out. And look, if you don't like me, have some fun arguing with me. And if you do like me, interact with my friends in the chat. Or have you been here before? I don't know. Maybe you've been here before. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into some news, some things that have been trending the last couple of days. Of course, the big one that we didn't get to yesterday, Alexander What? Oh, the Alexander. I didn't even read that right. Okay, cool. Anyway, the Department of Education has been trending because, you know, the Trump administration and the vision of the head executive of the executive branch is to, you know what, let's get rid of the Department of Education. Let's go back to have the states run their Department of Education. If they need block grants or something, we can do that through the Treasury Department. We can do it somewhere else. We can use Congress to do it. Oh, the Alexander is Scribe Light. Oh, is it? No, it's not. Dog Thrapple. I didn't see it. Did he change his name from Scribe Light? Did we do a channel revamping or something? I don't know anything about this. Let me see something here. Hold up. I gotta check something. Let's see if that shows up anywhere. This is not Scribe Light. What are you talking about? Oh, I see. That's not it. Never mind. Is it Scribe? Oh. No, he's a sub to Scribe. Okay. Got me confused there, Ty. You got me confused. It's not Scribe, but someone who hangs out with Scribe. Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that you subscribe to Scribe. Scribe's my buddy, you know. Scribe is my buddy. Okay, there you go. So we'll get to the Department of Education real quick. Before I do that, though, we got our first sponsor today. Thank you, JB, and you are the new Streamlabs
Superstar sponsor of the day.
I read it wrong, and it wasn't even you. Tyre said the Alexander is a Scribe Light sub, and I didn't read the second line of the sentence because I have this window that I popped out. I have it really wide, and so there was the one word was at the end. Usually I can read the entire sentence that people write in one line. So there you go. I'm batting zero. No, I'm not batting zero. Is the stream working so far? Knock on wood. Anyway, thank you, JB, dropping Trey in the tip jar, saying, yesterday was cool. I got a movie off of eBay for $20. That was $140 on Amazon. The only thing is, the case was absolutely smashed, so I got a partial refund. Disc was intact. Feels good, man. What movie did you pay $20 for? Was it a new movie? And why was it $140 on Amazon? Was it like the entire, what was that series? There was a series, like eight disc series on D-Day. What was that series called? We have it. I can't remember the name of it. That was really good, though. Stream is working. The host, yeah, the host, you know. Good morning. Amazing Disgrace is in the house. Why are you laughing? It's not funny. So anyway, what movie did you buy? Just put it in the regular chat. Goryokin. Is that a series, or is that like a really rare like anime thing? Shit, I don't know what that is. But anyway, I'm glad you found the movie that you like, and you got a deal on it. So there you go, for $20, and then you got a discount too. Band of Brothers, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I love that series. My My father-in-law had that series. I watched the entire series with my father-in-law when he was in bad health before he passed away, and we watched. I would go over and visit him. Like my wife was out of town, and usually she visited my father-in-law every day, and she was out of town. She was like on vacation with one of her friends, and so I went there every day, and we watched the entire series of Band of Brothers together, and that's a really special series to me, just because my father-in-law was really a great guy, and I'm tearing up. Let me just stop that. Let me stop talking about that. Good morning, Reaction Puerto Rico. Okay. Department of Education is trending because, there's people who are talking about getting rid of the Department of Education. The Department of Education was established. It actually, even though it was established in 1979, it was officially opened in 1980 when the Department of Education began by James Earl Carter, Jimmy. The United States was number one in the world in education. And now we've dropped to like 28th or something like that. We've dropped. Our education system's kind of fucked. And we spend more money on education than almost every other country in the world. I shouldn't say every country, but we spend a shit ton on education compared to other countries. And we don't get great results for it, unfortunately. It's becoming the system, especially with the Department of Education, is becoming a indoctrination factory or a I don't know. I mean, obviously, the Department of Education helps a lot of people with special needs. I get that. We can still probably do that through Health and Human Services. But the Department of Education just is I say it's a money laundering thing. Because, they support all these initiatives that probably just gives money back to the teachers' unions. And the teachers' unions are, kind of another problem. But anyway, so that's one of the things still hanging over. It's a trend hangover today. I'll play one video because apparently here the Department of Education and Civil Rights Attorney is super upset over being fired, which this guy says, guess what? We don't care. So we'll watch this one video and then we're going to move on. But it's a huge topic because Linda McMahon says her mandate from the president is to eventually delete the Department of Education and move education back to the states where they can have some local control and make local decisions about what they're going to do. Here we go. This is the video someone put up, though.
Angry? Are you worried? How is this sitting with you?
I am definitely angry because I don't understand why I and my colleagues have been targeted for just doing our jobs. Our jobs are protecting the...
Because... what do I like to say? They suck. That's why. The Department of Education has not been a benefit to education in the United States, other than handing out money and sometimes making like college money a little too easy. But that's what they do. They administer the student loans now. But what if clearly you had a system that wasn't broken that you broke by adding this giant behemoth federal bureaucracy, trying to pick winners and losers in education, and it's failed. So what's the point of having it when the states can do it on their own better locally?
The American public and their patient students. So it's very frustrating to not only have to endure the demeaning emails and...
Oh my God. The demeaning emails. Oh my goodness. Of what is something that you did this week, like that you might get that your boss in the private sector might ask you that question. I know, my God, federal employees should never be asked what they're doing or why we're paying you. Oh my God, demeaning. That's demeaning.
Ridicule that we're getting in the media, but to also have
ridicule
to
in the
lose
media
your job when all you were doing was just following, the law and enforcing that.
And that's fine. And now we're going to change the law. So you won't have to follow the law anymore because you won't be around.
Providing statistics to help teachers do their jobs.
Angry? Are you worried?
Okay. I'm curious. So anyway, here, seemingly every agency was a partner in building this system: FBI, CIA, NSA, DHS, State Department, Department of Education, the National Science Foundation, USAID, and even FEMA. Through grants and partnerships, these agencies funneled countless tax dollars to censorship groups. Oh my goodness, what is this about? Between 20 and 2020 alone, 20 and 2020, excuse me, let me try this again. Between 2020 and 2022 alone, the National Science Foundation awarded $31.8 million in taxpayer funds across 64 grants to research, quote, the science of stopping viral ideas, end quote. Oh my gosh. That sounds like censorship. So the National Science Foundation sent it to Meaden, $5.7 million to a nonprofit building surveillance tools to monitor private WhatsApp messages, $5.75 million to develop AI technology dedicated to tracking and censoring misinformation, and $2.25 million for rapid response frameworks for mitigating online disinformation. Now, you know, their definition of disinformation is often things that we don't agree with, because it's not always misinformation. It's like, no, we just have a different opinion. Then, let's see, DHS FEMA spent $2.6 million on disinformation analysis contract. State Department bankrolls secretly blacklisting conservative media, people they disagree with. And then left-wing News Guard awarded Pentagon contract, according to records. State Department funds censorship firms. Oh my gosh, this is insane. University program linking Christians, Republicans, and Nazis granted DHS funds under anti-terror initiative. Oh my gosh. And they're mad about some kid getting a little extra attention from ICE. Wow. Speaking of which, and Tesla's trending, still having some issues with vandalism at Tesla dealers and people's personal vehicles and whatnot. In fact, for example, this idiot, he bought a Tesla specifically so he could smash it. So here's the brilliance. Yes, we're going to protest Tesla by buying a Tesla and smashing it. So here's this jackoff.
Armed with a pickaxe and sledgehammer in Seattle's Soto neighborhood, these two fellas went to town on this Tesla.
Okay.
The car was left in shambles with shattered windows, massive punctures, and tons of anti-Elon Musk graffiti.
You don't like what Elon Musk is doing?
This man would only give me his first name. Greg, sorry. But says he actually owns the white Model S.
I bought it just to destroy it.
And Greg says he coordinated the stunt with his friends because he doesn't like Musk.
Tesla supports fast.
You bought it to destroy it? Yeah.
Yes, and that's from... I'm not a fan of this account necessarily, although it is funny some of the things they do. A lot of times they just put people's pictures up there and call them retards. But this time, at least they put something retarded that this person did, which clearly... buying a Tesla to destroy it because you're mad at Elon Musk is pretty stupid. So anyway, it's still trending, and there's a couple articles I have accompanying it. Apparently, by the way, Trump hater sets himself ablaze while torching Tesla charging station in South Carolina. I don't think he was trying to set himself ablaze, but a masked man vandalized a Tesla charging station and attempted to burn it down using Molotov cocktail in Charleston, South Carolina, ultimately setting himself on fire in the process. The maniac spray painted "Long Live Ukraine" next to a vulgar message aimed at President Trump on the scene. So dumbass. That is the Darwin Award. And then the other one here, somebody, Alex Marlow, a moderate Democrat Representative Seth Moulton uses Tesla terrorism epidemic to attack Trump. And I think this was on, let's see, how long is this? I'm not going to play 47 minutes of it. Anyway, on Wednesday's Alex Marlow show, host and Breitbart editor-in-chief Alex Marlow reacted to Seth Moulton's response to anti-Tesla violence. In the clip, Moulton responded to a question from This is CNN's host, Audie Cornish, on the Trump administration's potentially classifying violence against Teslas or Tesla dealerships, stating, so Trump thinks that if you try to kill cops to overthrow the government and change an election, that's not domestic terrorism. But somehow having a protest in front of Tesla dealership is. Hold up. The protest is not the problem, dickhead. It's when you destroy property, break windows, and burn shit. That's not a protest. That is violence. Now, it's not violence directed at other people, but it is violence, dumbass. So anyway, you get the picture. Real quick, thank you, Avocados Diablo, for putting a... Whoa, what the hell did I do there? Oh, no. We're still here. No, stop it. Okay, there's another one. Thank you, Avocados Diablo, sponsor the show, dropping a... I don't know what I'm doing here. Here. How about this one? Thank you, Avocados Diablo, dropping us another small bill in the tip jar. It says, speaking of MSNBC... Have you seen the clip of the host of one of the shows commenting that Trump declared protest of Tesla is illegal? And to show her point, she plays a clip of him saying specifically being asked about people committing violence. Yeah, I did see that. I think the clip's in this. Well, here, let's play the clip you're talking about. That's a good clip to show. I think it's in this list somewhere. Let's find it. Tesla. Let's see. Where is she? Here she goes. This is some bullshit. This is just straight up propaganda by MSNBC. And it's funny because I had someone I frequently communicate with on X, who's on our side, I guess, if you call it sides, saw someone had written out, oh yeah, Donald Trump just said that protesting against Tesla is illegal. And he's like, well, that doesn't sound right. Like that shouldn't be. And I agree. Protesting against Tesla or Elon Musk or Donald Trump, that's fine. It's when you start breaking shit and destroying property. So listen to this young lady. Oh.
You need to hear it from him.
Hear what? Now wait, hold on. But look at I want the longer version of this clip. But look at this here. The Chiron down here at the bottom. Trump burnishes Tesla at the White House in show of support of Elon Musk. Now wait, that's not the one. There's a different. Let me find the one longer version of this. Hopefully, I'm sure it's here somewhere. Of this lady being full of shit. Maybe not. Oh well. Let's play this one. This we have. We'll go back to that one. All right, here's the clip from MSNBC.
This post claiming that protests at Tesla dealerships are illegal.
Oh, that's it. This is the one. Never mind. Yeah, this is it. Hang on. Here it is.
So overnight, have this post claiming that protests at Tesla dealerships are illegal.
Here's what she said. Post claiming that protests at Tesla dealerships are illegal. Good morning, by the way, Lewis. How you doing? Now, listen to what the question from the reporters was as she shows a clip.
He said today he would label violence against dealerships domestic terrorism. Now,
and in fact, she just said violence against Tesla dealerships as domestic terrorism. But then the words she said before were just now protest. There's a difference between protest and violence. There's a distinction.
I am judicious in how I play this sound, but I think you need to hear it from him.
Yeah, let's hear it from him. Listen to the question.
Mr. President talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. Let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to any company, we're going to catch you and you're going to go through hell.
So just to be clear, you protest a private company, you are labeled by this administration a domestic terrorist.
What? He was clearly talking about violence. That was the question. Again, let's go to the question that the person asked. Mr. President, talk to us about some of the violence that has been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists. The violence, they didn't say protest. And that's the question he answered. Now, of course, I'm sure that watch. This is someone who added a little end part here that gives you some context.
You protest a private company, you are labeled by this administration a domestic terrorist.
What you are seeing now, these images came and come in stark contrast to what we saw over the course of the daytime hours in Kenosha and into the early evening, which were largely peaceful demonstrations in the face
largely
of
peaceful with a big old fire building on fire in the background. So anyway, yeah, that's just crazy. That's crazy. Good morning, Unacceptable Views, my other favorite Canadian. How you doing? All right. All right, let's move on a little bit here because I got to get through these quickly because I want to make sure I get to the main topic. Mahmoud Khalil is still trending. And look, I am torn on this in many ways because, we want to make sure that we live up to our free speech principles in this country. And so the question is, has Mahmoud Khalil advocated violence? Has he done illegal things? Has he, so there's a couple things that have come up since yesterday. For example, since yesterday's show, one here, Mahmoud Khalil is a perfect example of the Palestinian exemption. You don't get to come into this country, violate laws you want, harass students in the name of Palestine, and then cry when your actions finally have consequences. This has nothing to do with free speech. So this is an editorial from Newsmax, obviously very right of center. Good morning, Shrapnel. Outlet. Let's see what this guy says. And I got a couple of articles real quick. We'll breeze through.
That is, he advocated not just for the eradication of Western civilization, but he passed out pamphlets encouraging support for Hamas on Columbia's campus. This is someone who, as I said earlier, vandalized private property, trespassed, took maintenance workers hostages, sent police officers and school employees to the hospital. So I don't understand why there is this Palestine exception that you can do whatever damage you would like and suffer zero consequences so long as you do it in support of Palestine and so long as you do it in support of Hamas, Hezbollah, or other terrorist organizations.
Amazing disgrace. Don't make me laugh in the middle of a very serious conversation. I'm in my mood for love. Stop it. That's terrible.
Organizations. Everyone should.
So look, has he injured people? Has he occupied buildings? Has he trespassed? Has he done illegal things that would facilitate his green card being revoked and him being deported? That's the question. If they can prove that, they can give you evidence of that, then damn right, get him the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Because that is the law. You know what? We don't need that shit. Okay? So, some of the articles that I have up here, though, apparently, this is interesting, though. Apparently, the radical pro-Hamas student deportee has a UK government security clearance. What? Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian Columbia University graduate and a U.S. permanent resident, now detained in a federal jail in Louisiana following his arrest by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent on Saturday night, previously worked with the British government. Khalil emerged as a key figure during the anti-Israel campus encampment in the spring of 2024, serving as a lead negotiator for student protests. His arrest over the weekend prompted a federal judge. A federal judge now has put a temporary block on his deportation. And it's leaving his fate hanging in the balance as legal proceedings unfold. But for some reason, why does he have a British security clearance? Well, from 2018 to 2022, Khalil worked as a program manager in the British Embassy's Syria office in Beirut, Lebanon, overseeing the Syria Chevening program, a prestigious British scholarship initiative. Online records confirm his role in managing these efforts, which aim to foster ties with future global leaders for Britain's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. So that's just an interesting factoid that he has a UK security clearance. That's weird. Hi, Evan S. What's up? Also, one of the New York lawmakers was screaming at Tom Homan in the street. We'll just show you the clip here. He's very upset that this young man has been detained.
How many more New Yorkers? How many more New Yorkers will you detain? How many more New Yorkers will not go?
New Yorker? Like a Chrysler New Yorker?
Do you believe in the First Amendment, Tom Homan? When we asked Tom Homan, all he had to answer for that cruelty was a smirk.
What? Oh, gee, wait a minute. When we asked Tom Homan, you mean you shouted at him across the across the causeway? What are you talking about when we asked Tom Homan? Hello, Tyler F. What's up?
Because there is no answer for taking a man from his pregnant wife who is due to deliver their...
Oh, again, let's go to the emotional argument. And look, I absolutely feel for this woman, and I actually, in some ways, feel for him because, you know, he may have done an FAFO. I'm not, maybe not. It seems like he kind of did, though. But yeah, you're going to go to the emotional argument rather than the legal argument.
Born child in a month from their Columbia University apartment.
Okay.
A day after, that same man, Mahmoud Khalil, wrote to Columbia University and said he feared for his life. The cowardice that is on display across our city and our state is unacceptable.
How is it cowardice?
New Yorkers are looking to us. They are looking to their leaders for courage and for conviction. And what they are finding instead is collaboration. And that is just simply unacceptable.
Yeah, well, again, and like I said, I have reservations on the free speech end of this, but I also have concerns if he's, you know, organizing violent protests, and if he's participated in the violence of these protests. And if he has, then he has violated the terms of green card and student visa. Of course, he's on a green card now instead of a student visa, but, you know, it just is what it is. And, you know, so should proven murderers be released because his mom is dying? Yeah, you know, this is the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez child separation argument. Okay. Well, did you, Tom Homan, write this memo about enforcing child separations? Yeah. When you get arrested, you're usually separated from your child. Okay. When you get arrested, when you do something illegal, you're usually separated from your family. That's, you know, yes. Oh my gosh. You had a child and you broke the law because you have a DUI with a 0.17 alcohol level. Yeah, you're going to jail, and we're going to send your child either with another parent, a relative, or foster care, because you are separated from your child when you break the law. It's just how it works. So, again, it's an emotional argument, but it's not a legal argument. Apparently, and then the party of censorship suddenly cares about free speech. This is, again, people bitching about the young Mahmoud. And the party of censorship suddenly cares about free speech. The reverse is true for Republicans who want to censor or else deport left-wingers who are anti-American, but are nevertheless protected by the First Amendment to voice those noxious opinions. But let's focus on the Democrats for now. Because, look, some of the Republicans, too, I mean, yeah, you were all free speech, but now you're saying that in some cases, some Republicans are like, well, it's illegal to protest. It's illegal to hold views that don't align with some of our allies. It's like, look, either you're free speech or not. That's the only reason I have reservations about this thing with Mahmoud. Is it free speech or did he break the law? Seems to me that he's broken laws that apply to the, you know, reduction of his green card privileges, as in get the fuck out. But it's funny how Democrats all of a sudden are like, oh, they're going to talk about free speech when it comes to this. Yeah, no. No. Yeah, you can try that, but maybe not. Also, by the way, Ilhan Omar's daughter is promoting a fundraiser for the pro-Hamas activists in ICE custody. So there you go. There's an article about that. I'm not going to go through these. And then the lawyer for the Columbia grad said, the lawyer for the Columbia grad who is in custody also repped al-Qaeda members, including a close associate of bin Laden. So he's got some, the lawyer has, Mahmoud has some good company with other people this lawyer has defended. Not, again, that's guilt by association, but it is just an amazing coincidence. Moving on. Oh, and deport is still trending from yesterday, so we can move beyond that. By the way, and the Department of Education, this is a flashback from Bill Kristol. We got to go back to the Department of Education here. Never Trumper Bill Kristol jokes about no one being essential at the Department of Education. This is from, I don't know what year this is from. Let me look. Oh, 2013. So you got to love the folks who once called themselves Republicans with all sincerity before the curtain has pulled back about 10 years ago to reveal the establishment phonies that they actually were all along. Political commentator, never Trumper Bill Kristol is one of those people who will tell you one thing with a smile on their face while crossing their fingers behind their backs, hoping you won't eventually be able to figure out their own game. So back in October, I'm skipping a couple paragraphs. Back in October 2013, Kristol appeared on MSNBC's Morning Joe, where the conversation encompassed the possibility of a government shutdown. At one point, Kristol spoke about his time as chief of staff at the education department and sounded very flippant about having to designate who at the department was or was not essential. So here's Bill Kristol talking about the Department of Education back in 2013.
I was chief of staff at the education department. I had to designate the essential employees when we shut down, and we designated. I joked to Bill Bennett, who was my boss, we just say that no one at the education department is essential in all honesty.
Oh. Now he's one of the lead bitchers about the current possibility of the Department of Education being shut down. All right, other things that have held over. Good morning, Renee Mayette, who have held over or what do you call it? Rollover trending topics, Social Security. Obviously, that's going to keep trending. And that's kind of related to the possibility of a government shutdown. Now let's go through. I'm going to skip it just because we watched the same clip yesterday of Mike Johnson saying that in this continuing resolution right now, they're not cutting anything, and the Democrats are going to vote against it. But anyway, and that's also why Thomas Massey is still trending, because people are talking about him, and he had actually had a meeting with Tucker Carlson, kind of laughing with with Tucker Carlson about how his conversation went with Donald Trump. And it's pretty funny. I wish I failed to bookmark it though, but it was pretty funny. So you might have to look up the latest Thomas Massey, Tucker Carlson interview. But let's go back to the smarmy prick from New York, Chuck Schumer. Okay. Because the smarmy prick from New York, Chuck Schumer, has announced that the Senate Democrats are going to do whatever they can to block the House-passed continuing resolution. And what's fascinating, let's see, here's Chuck the Schmuck himself. Oh, wait, this is Chuck Schumer in 2023. This is Chuck talking about plans about government shutdown in 2023. This is a prerequisite. Here he is.
The last thing Americans need right now is a pointless government shutdown.
Yeah.
A shutdown will hurt just about every American.
Oh, will it, Chuck? This is back in 2023.
Last thing.
Well, now, and look, part of the problem is a couple of the Republicans in the Senate. They have a four vote advantage, and so if they lose more than a few of those people, the continuing resolution will not pass. The Democrats are all going to vote against it in the Senate. Apparently. Here is, and that's, oh my God, he's just. There's all kinds of clips of Chuck Schumer. But since he is planning on doing this, here is, he announced that they were going to block the House-passed continuing resolution. And so now for your entertainment, may we present the same Democrats who scream about government shutdown on a loop. Because all the Democrats want the government to shut down instead of pass the continuing resolution, which will continue at least the funding at the same levels as Joe Biden through September. Although, here's the interesting part about that. I should probably mention this before I play this. So they have this continuing resolution. They're going to keep funding the government in the same manner for just until September, until they can write their separate bills or whatever they're going to do and make actual cuts. However, a lot of the funding that they're doing right now in this continuing resolution, the departments that are getting this funding have been thinned out. They've been firing people. There's a whole bunch of people. So some of this money that they're going to supposedly allocate will end up coming back to the Treasury because there's no one to give it out, which is great. Okay, so there will be some funding cuts, but I think that the idea is Democrats just want to make a statement by shutting down the government. And here's what the Democrats used to think about shutting down the government. Here's just a couple minutes of this.
Republicans are marching America to a.
Oh, by the way, I describe Hakeem Jeffries as Turnip Man. That's my new nickname for Hakeem Jeffries. If you haven't noticed that on X or whatever, because Hakeem Jeffrey has the charisma of a turnip. Just saying. So this is Turnip Man.
Government shutdown. But we need traditional Republicans to break with MAGA extremists.
Oh, MAGA
so we can
extremists.
keep the
That's his favorite
government
word.
Republican shutdown will cost 6,306 of her constituents their paychecks.
Put the bill on the floor.
Again,
one
this
up or
is
down
back
vote,
in the day.
so we can end this MAGA Republican nightmare. And if you
And
don't,
now the Democrats
own
want to do it.
This government shutdown.
And we could put the threat of a shutdown behind us. Our agreement would keep the government open, provide emergency aid for communities battered by hurricanes and other natural disasters.
It's about the harm that House
Don't insult
Republicans will
turnips.
do to the American
Turnip
people
Man.
if the government shuts down.
One Democrat said to me they feel like they have a mandate from their constituents to shut down the government.
Yes, there are some raising the possibility of shutting down the government in March.
We will use
I wish I didn't have
whatever
this
power
music.
we have, and fundamentally, we're not going to vote for something that undermines the American people.
To withhold votes, do Democrats have the stomach?
I certainly hope so. I know that I'm not going to vote
Oh,
for
look.
their proposal for sure.
Are you prepared to shut down the government to join?
It's okay. I get upset when people call Jasmine Crockett a hood rat because, one, she's not a hood rat. She grew up in a very privileged household, went to a $35,000 a year high school, went to some fancy schmancy college somewhere, and she has a law degree. So that, she wasn't. She went. Let me repeat that. She went to a $35,000 a year private high school. So no, she's not a hood rat, but she does do the code switching very profusely. It's amazing. So just thought I'd throw that in there.
Join Democratic colleagues who want to stand in the way of keeping the government open?
Well, there are
Is
simply
that
trying
yes?
So yes, look, if we have to take steps.
They want to shut down the
From
government.
now,
Oh my
government
God.
shutdown is looming.
If we don't believe that we have a willing partner on the other side, then we need to stay united and not bail out President Trump.
And yet, at the same time, in order for a lot of voters to fully understand what Elon Musk and Donald Trump are doing, people are unfortunately going to have to feel some of that. And the only way that that happens is if the shutdown happens.
So the Democrats want to shut down the government this time, even though it's evil. Even though it's evil and poor people lose their jobs, people lose their livelihoods, people won't get the checks, although the checks are automatic. Yeah, whatever. That's good. All right. And in fact, now he's got a new nickname, Shutdown Schumer. And they have a plot to bring the government to a standstill. DC Democrats have always ruled the shutdown game. When they're in charge of Congress, they are positively allergic to passing a budget, let alone a balanced one. They prefer to clobber Republicans over the head with shutdown showmanship, ultimately getting their spendthrift ways while reaping the fringe benefit of demolished approval ratings for their rival party. Well, here's how it works. Democrats sit on their hands and do nothing about spending until a budget deadline looms. Once they are operating in a time crisis setting, Democrats put forth a grotesque, bloated, and usually immoral omnibus spending bill rife with grift for their friends and economic incontinence. Republicans naturally recoil at this abomination and refuse to vote for it. Democrats and their media allies then pray at that Republicans are obstructionists. Now, if that deadline passes without an agreement, the blame is uniformly heaped upon the Republicans. It is always they, never the blameless Democrats, who shut down the government by refusing to pass perfectly good spending resolution the Democrats produced. Now, if there is a Democrat president, he does his part by making the shutdown as absurdly public and painful as possible. Who can forget Barack Obama somehow fighting employees who were magically exempt from furlough to put up fences around open-air monuments and parks and enforce the closure of 1,100 square miles of an open ocean off the coast of Florida. The compounded applied pressure, generally combined with greasy offering of pork, is intense enough to shake loose enough persuadable Republicans to pass everything the Democrats want. Oh, joy in Mudville. In fact, Republicans were savaged and rolled with this technique enough times that after a while, all the Democrats had to do was threaten a shutdown of the government to get enough GOP senators to capitulate. Well. Things are a little different now. Democrats are not in power in Congress or in the White House, and their media arm has finally lied itself out of relevance. On Tuesday, the Republicans in control of the U.S. House passed a continuing resolution that would keep the government running until the summer without prolific spending increases. And it passed it along to their colleagues in the Senate. Now, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer took to the floor Wednesday, still trying to play the Democrats' game. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I misread that. Let me go back just a moment. Senate Minority Leaders Chuck the smarmy prick from New York, Schumer, took to the floor Wednesday, still trying to play the Democratic game of blaming the Republicans for his party's obstructionism. Funding the government should be a bipartisan effort, droned Schumer dolorously. But alas, those dastardly Republicans chose a partisan path, drafting their continuing resolution without any input, thank goodness, from congressional Democrats. Oh, no. Now, because of that, Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate to invoke cloture of the House on the House continuing resolution. Republicans brought this shutdown upon themselves, you see. I didn't realize that you had to have cloture on a budget deal. Is that just in the House? No, why would you have to have cloture on a budget resolution? I thought they couldn't. Oh, no, it's only on presidential nominees. So the Democrats are not going to allow cloture on this. They're going to allow the government to shut down. So anyway, and they're going to blame the Republicans who brought this showdown upon themselves. Meanwhile, said Schumer, the virtuous Democrats were unified on a clean April 11th continuing resolution that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate bipartisan legislation that can pass. Finally, he expressed his fervent hope that our Republican colleagues will join us to avoid a shutdown on Friday. Yeah, somehow the blame doesn't seem to be falling on the Republicans this time, with Schumer saying that Democrats are not ready to proceed. The Democrats hold the cards, explains ABC News Delaware affiliate 6 ABC. If they do not furnish the votes to clear this procedural hurdle and get onto the bill, things could be at a standstill and the shutdown could be on the horizon. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. Oh, no. The government was shut down. I don't know what I will do without the government running greatly. I'm not planning on going to a national park soon anyway. Fuck it. And all the essential workers have to keep working anyway. All the checks have to go out anyway. Everything that the government doesn't need to be doing 100% of the time will continue. That is the law. Anyway, and then they give a little clip about that. Meanwhile, Speaker Mike Johnson, having done his part with writing and passing the lower chamber resolution, released this killer video in support of the Senate counterpart. Behold the towering hypocrisy of congressional Democrats. So we'll watch this and we're going to move on. And I don't need to read the rest of the article. But here's what Mike Johnson put out for the peoples. Oh, it's music. I hate when they put music in. Democrats.
We believe in governance. We want to keep government open. A shutdown is very serious.
There are real consequences when the government shuts down. It harms our national security, it harms our economy, and it harms service members, veterans, retirees, and vulnerable communities.
We all know a shutdown is unnecessary and completely avoidable.
The tragedy here is all the civilian employees.
Oh,
it is
no.
the American people who are going to suffer.
Border Patrol agents will not
Turn
be
up.
paid. TSA agents will not be paid.
Really?
Small businesses will be hurt.
Not only is it irresponsible, and
Irresponsible.
purposely
Oh, my.
misleading,
Oh, my.
it is dangerous precedent.
Dangerous.
To be threatening a shutdown.
I'm worried about our air controlers, those in the military.
Oh, you mean the jobs that have to continue during a shutdown?
In the military, and they won't.
The military won't have checks? Oh, gee.
This is real.
The real people's lives at stake.
It is not normal to hold 800,000 workers' paychecks hostage.
Oh,
it
my.
is not normal to shut down the government when we don't get what we want.
Our troops deserve better.
Yes, they do.
Our children deserve
Our
better.
children, the children. Think of the children.
People deserve better.
These chaos agents, they don't have a plan B. They just want to see everything
Senate Democrats don't have a plan B.
Really is an extremist policy
extremist
designed to appeal to an extremist base and hold the whole country hostage.
Oh my goodness.
This shutdown, you know who's going to feel the pain? You know who it hurts? You.
Your mama. That's who's going to feel the pain. Your mama. So there you go. And Chuck Schumer, the smarmy prick from New York, just doesn't care. 800,000 people. 800,000 people could be harmed by this. Plus the entire American public. My God, they might have to close the interstate highways. And then you won't be able to go anywhere either. But the good news is the IRS will be shut down for that time too. So, hey, no one minds. Oh, wait. You may not get your refund if the Senate Democrats shut down the government. Is it normal? Is it not normal to have 800,000 employees? Well, I think there's 2.1 million government employees and non-military employees in the United States. 2.1 million. And I don't know if you need that many. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Here's the thing. They start thinning out some of these departments and start using AI or whatever. We could have a very efficient government. We really could. I'm just saying. All right, let's see. Oh, and by the way, Thune has called the Democrats bluff and moves forward the Trump-backed House-passed funding plan. So Senate Democrats are dancing with the devil in the sinister form of a Chuck, the smarmy prick from New York, Schumer shutdown. The Schumer shutdown. We just call him Shutdown Schumer. Hey, Shutdown Schumer, what you got going on? Democrat leader Chuck Schumer announced Wednesday afternoon following a lunch with his Democratic caucus that he would reject the House-passed government plan to keep the government funded past the Friday deadline. It's funny. He asked, what's the other funny thing he said? When he said he wants a clean continuing resolution, does he realize, the TSA will not be paid on time? Well, that's fucked up. You should get paid on time. But you will be paid eventually. I got you. It is a clean resolution. They're not changing the funding this time. Funding the government should be a bipartisan effort, but Republicans chose a partisan path, drafting their continuing resolution without any input from Democrats. Yeah? That sounds familiar when the other side was in control of shit. So, anyway, you get the idea. Let's move on. Enough of that shit. Also trending. Ireland is trending. Apparently the Irish Prime Minister was here or something. And also Rosie O'Donnell went to Ireland. Oh, by the way, speaking of Rosie O'Donnell, she's trending too. This is all leftover stuff from yesterday. But this is funny. This was the funny thing that came from this meeting with President Donald Trump and I think it's the president or Prime Minister of Ireland. Listen to this.
Ireland is known for very happy, fun-loving people, great attitude, many in this room right now that I've met. Why in the world would you let Rosie O'Donnell move to Ireland? I think she's going to lower your happiness level.
That's true. Thank you. I like that question.
Mr.
Do you know
Prime
Are you expecting? Do you know who she is? Yeah.
I'm joking.
You better off not. You better off not knowing.
He sort of knows who it is, but yeah, Rosie O'Donnell's in Ireland. I have no idea what came of that meeting, but for some reason the White House, what do you call them? What are they? The communication staff all ended up wearing green the day that they came. And this redhead is looking very Irish, I might say. So I only put this picture up for Avocados Diablo. I know every once in a while you need some eye candy, so there you go. The White House communication staff. You happy? Brother, you happy? All right. Moving on. And then Rosie's trending. We know why. Bill Burr's trending, the comedian. Apparently he's, I like Bill Burr. He's funny, but then he gets political. I think his wife finally got sick of him not being, not doing comedy on the side. So now he says a lot of stupid shit that, you go, well, you're still funny, but you say some stupid shit. So, for example, let's see, what is this one? Thanks to capitalism, millionaire comedian stands in front of a wall of expensive sneakers and complains about corporations and praises a murderer. Oh yeah, he thinks that the Luigi should be freed. He's in the free Luigi crowd now. And like, what the fuck? You want a murderer? Let go here.
Yeah, they brought it back a couple of times, and they went with cheaper leather.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because some corporate cunt had to give himself a fucking bonus check at the end of the year. What if we made it worse, but made it look the same?
Yeah.
Oh, this is.
Then could our pools be bigger?
Not
Free
okay.
Luigi.
Yeah. Come on, Bill.
Yeah, they brought it back.
Come on, Bill. You really? Free Luigi? I'm still in the fuck Luigi thing. Oh, and then also he's mad at Elon Musk. He's claiming that this was absolutely a Nazi salute.
Made fun of the fucking Twitter guy for fucking Sieg Heiling not once but twice. And I never look at my emails. I was scrolling through my emails and it said my Twitter account had been flagged for I don't even tweet anymore. It had been flagged for what a fucking baby. Just like Hitler. A fucking baby. Because that's another thing.
Oh, he's
these
just
people that
like
are into
Hitler.
fucking Hitler.
You get the idea. He goes on and on about Elon Musk being like Hitler and claiming that he was giving a Nazi salute rather than just doing the thing that my governor did and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did and everybody else. Hello, Patio Furniture. It's been a while. Nice to have you back. All right, enough about that. You can look at the billboard line there. Oh, champagne is trending. Champagne is trending. Oh, wait. What happened here? What happened? It's supposed to be... Here, hang on. Champagne was trending. I'll just do it manually here. There, champagne is trending because Donald Trump's mad about the apparently the EU has decided to put a 50% tariff on American whiskey. And so he's warning that if it's not lifted immediately, the U.S. will hit all wines, champagnes, and alcohol products from France and other EU nations with a 200% tariff. Here it is. The European Union, one of the most hostile and abusive taxing and tariffing authorities in the world, which has formed for the sole purpose of taking advantage of the United States, has just put a nasty 50% tariff on whiskey. If this tariff is not removed immediately, the U.S. will shortly place a 200% tariff on all wine, champagne, and alcoholic products coming out of France and other EU-represented countries. This will be great for the wine and champagne business in the U.S. because we do produce plenty of our own wines domestically. And also, look, I don't even buy French wines anymore or German wines. Because first of all, they're already too expensive when you can get really good wines from California, Chile, even some regions in the U.S. There's, lots of places that make really quality wines. Australian wines are really good and much cheaper for some reason. I don't know why European wines are always so much more expensive, especially French wines. But I digress. I don't buy French wines. So I don't know. I'm already getting a little wary of the trade war stuff, but Trump slams the EU for imposing a 50% tariff on whiskey, calling it abusive and anti-American. And then Quartering says, if you see someone complaining about the champagne tariff, immediately know they are morons if they are male gay. Literally nobody actually likes champagne. It's piss. Damn. And if we ever had another drop-off in this country, literally nothing would change. They're so transparent. But also, now the other one though, now this is not champagne, but it's an account called Champagne Yoshi. And I'm going to open this in a separate tab so you can see it. I didn't know about this. This is interesting. He says, I shit you not, a new 4-lane highway is being built that cuts through tens of thousands of acres of protected Amazon rainforest for the COP30 climate summit in the Brazilian city of Belém. Amazon Forest failed to build a road for the climate summit. And let's see, right here. Is this in Portuguese? No. conflict of interest, funding support, and an author affiliates and peer-reviewed research relationship between climate change and geophysical care. What is that? That's not what I wanted to see. Anyway, the point is, these fuckers who are claiming that, the rainforests are sacred and you need them to have more, eat up the greenhouse gases. They're destroying a bunch of the Amazon specifically for the COP30 climate conference. I mean, it just seems weird. Can't they fly their private jets to Belém? Come on. So anyway, I just thought that was ironic. Number one is in the house. What's up? Also selected boy. Yeah, and boy. Who else just showed up? There's 3 people I saw just pop in. Or did I already get them all? Oh, patio furniture. That was the other one. I got you. All right, so that was ironic. All right, now some just newsy stuff, and then we're going to get to we'll get down to the main topic, which is whatever I get to today. So I don't know if you've seen this video of this girl who in a race. I don't even know why this became national news. Maybe just because it's so blatant. So this is a girl. She was at a track meet in some state. I don't even know what state this was in. Louisiana, maybe. I don't know. It was an indoor track meet. And this girl, it was in a relay race. And she goes and busts another girl in the head with a baton. Here it is.
This morning, Alayla Everett, the track star at the center of that viral video showing her appearing to hit another runner in the head with the baton, is speaking out.
Okay, before you even speak out, I'm gonna watch this again, and I'm sure you've seen it. And by the way, the question is, are these batons? I thought they weren't heavy. They're not heavy, but a lot of them are made of aluminum, like hard aluminum. They're not collapsible or whatever. They're made to be sturdy so that you can grab it when you're, panning it off. And she clocks this girl. Watch her arm.
This morning, Alayla Everett, the track star.
What? Now that she's running. Notice she doesn't have any weird motion here until she decides to hit this girl in the head who passes her. Watch.
Star at the center of that viral video showing her appearing to hit another runner in the head with the baton, is speaking out.
I would never do that.
And she was going to do it again. It looked like, and she's like, oh shit, what the fuck did I just do? Well, she's claiming that she didn't mean to do it. Here
Baton is speaking out.
I would never do that on purpose. That's not in my character.
Everett says the incident is a complete misunderstanding.
How is
Pointing to another angle of the race is proof.
The baton was literally...
Wait a minute.
Baton is speaking out.
I would never do that on purpose.
Okay,
that's not
all right, so
my
let's look at this other angle. Does it look different?
Everett says...
How... She winds up and reaches out to hit the girl. How's this other angle make it any better?
The incident is a complete misunderstanding. Pointing to another angle of the race is proof.
Well, no, no. The little clip, they clipped out the part where she actually hit her.
The baton was literally like her arm was literally hitting the baton like this until she got a little ahead and my arm got stuck like this.
In the video, Everett is seen on the inside track running the 4x200 relay at the Virginia State High School.
So anyway, the update to that story is she's been charged. High school track athlete Alayla Everett from Portsmouth, Virginia, it was in Virginia, has been charged with assault and battery after an incident where she allegedly struck fellow runner Karen Tucker with a metal baton during a state-level track meet. The incident, which has gone viral, resulted in Tucker suffering a concussion and possibly a fractured skull. Despite Everett's claim that the incident was accidental, public and legal scrutiny has intensified. Discussions on, I don't care about discussions online. Yeah, it just seemed like she was frustrated and smacked the girl in the head. So she's been charged. In other news, the EPA has launched sweeping deregulation of environmental protections. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, under Administrator Lee Zeldin, has announced the initiation of 31 actions aimed at deregulating significant environmental protections. Here's, let's just let Lee Zeldin tell you himself in this video, which I'm sure will piss a lot of people off.
Today, I'm pleased to make the largest deregulatory announcement in U.S. history. The Environmental Protection
In U.S.
Agency
history.
is initiating 31 historic actions to fulfill President Trump's promise to unleash American energy, revitalize our auto industry.
All right, then.
Restore the
Mrs.
rule of law,
Hayes is in my
and give
chat.
power back to the states. EPA will be reconsidering many suffocating rules that restrict nearly every sector of our economy.
Greatly.
And cost Americans
Give us some
trillions
details.
of dollars. Our actions include the Biden administration's deeply flawed Clean Power Plan 2.0, mercury and air toxic standards, Quado BC, particulate matter 2.5, light, medium, and heavy car insurance.
Now, before you lefties freak out, a lot of these regulations that came through the last administration made some ridiculously restrictive regulations on certain things. So some of this is just undoing the things that the old Biden administration was trying to put in.
Truck rules, niche apps, and the so-called social cost of carbon. To advance cooperative federalism, EPA will partner with states that were universally rejected by the last administration's Good Neighbor rule. Among many other actions, today's momentous day also includes the 2009 endangerment finding, along with all actions that rely on it. I've been told the endangerment finding is considered the holy grail of the climate change religion. For me,
oh, he's going to get some flack for that. Calling it the climate change religion. Oh, he's going to ruffle some feathers. I don't give a fuck.
The laws of this nation will be strictly interpreted and followed. No exceptions. Today, the Green New Scam ends as the EPA does its part to usher in the golden age of American success. Our actions will lower the cost of living by making it more affordable to purchase a car, heat your home, and operate a business.
Good.
Jobs will be created, especially in the U.S. auto industry, and our nation will become stronger for it. From the campaign trail to day one and beyond,
well, with all the
President Trump has...
With all the right, he's buying Teslas now. I'm not buying a Tesla. I don't care. I like Elon Musk. I like what he's doing. I like the what's the word? I like the idea of what they're doing. Let's put it that way. But I'm not buying a Tesla. I'm not buying an electric car. I drive too much to drive an electric car. My wife wants one, but we can't afford a new car right now. Anyway, but I'm going to stick to my gas-powered truck because we do a lot of road tripping. Can't road trip in an electric car. It just sucks. I might have friends who have them, and the way they describe it, I'm like, no, I'm not going to stop for another 40 minutes to get some more power to get to where I'm going. I want to be able to put some gas in my car, and I want to be able to keep going. I've driven, let's see. Well, we drove to Virginia straight through when my son's team went to the national championships in basketball. We drove straight through to Virginia. You can't do that in a fucking Tesla. Anyway.
Has delivered on his promise to unleash energy dominance and lower the cost of living.
Yeah, that's true.
We at EPA will do our part to power the great American comeback.
All right, good announcement. All right, let's go to let's talk about judges now. This is what I really want to talk about today. Because there seems to be a very interesting trend right now because Democrats like to try to use the law to fight Republican policy. And so we're getting this rash of decisions by judges that really should not be in the hands of judges. These are not legal questions. These are political questions. These are policy questions by an administration. So here's one example. You might be familiar with Judge Tanya Chutkan, who was the judge that was in one of the Trump trials, right? And they had to drop it. Judge orders discovery on Doge operations. Judge Tanya Chutkan has granted a request by several state attorneys general for discovery related to Doge, allowing access to the identities of its personnel and details on the extent of authority held by Doge and its figurehead, Elon Musk. This ruling comes amidst concerns over potential privacy violations and security threats following previous incidents like threats to Musk and attacks on Tesla properties. The legal action appears to be examining whether operations of Doge comply with constitutional norms regarding appointments. Now, it's not unusual for the executive branch to hire consultants that are not necessarily be appointed. But anyway, so Judge can order the dox. Basically, what she's done is she's ordered the doxing of Doge employees, even after all the death threats received by Elon Musk, or to Elon Musk and his personnel, as well as terror attacks on his Tesla showrooms. This is insane. The lefts are trying to terrify Doge and his employees into submission. Do not relent. The American people will have your back, Elon, and big balls. So, yeah, big balls. That's funny. So anyway, she's granted a request by several states' attorneys generals for discovery on Doge, namely the identities of Doge personnel and their parameters of Doge's Musk authority. It's funny because Elon Musk absolutely has security clearances because of Tesla. So, and again, so these judges are interfering with policy. And so there's another one here. Okay, oh, that's a different one. Hang on, we'll put that at the end if I get to it. And then in another case, move that back. Where is it? There we go. Here's another judge also. Now this one's even more blatant because this is a judge trying to direct policy that is clearly in the purview of the executive branch and the United States military. A federal judge appointed by President Biden, Anna Reyes, has ordered Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to retract a social media post regarding transgender military service policy. And the debate on this centers around separation of powers because what the hell is a judge demanding that the Secretary of Defense take down a social media post and also trying to direct policy for the United States Defense Department? So here's, let's see. As people are rightly saying, Article 2 of the Constitution simply states that judges have no right to issue injunctions. The executive cannot be limited by the judiciary. It's time for the judicial impeachments and prosecutions. We will never come together as a nation with radical left-wing operatives as judges. So, where is it here? Federal judge. Okay, this is regarding. Oh, also, and this is the same thing with the security clearance of Perkins Coie. Another federal judge blocked President Trump from revoking the security clearances of Perkins Coie, the law firm which helped develop the Russia hoax. And these active judges have to go. How can a judge force the president to give someone a security clearance? They can't. It's not within their purview. It's not within their enumerated powers to dictate policy. And there's several examples here. Here's another one. Federal judge just blocked President Trump's cut to DEI teacher training. Why? This administration won, and that's, the Department of Education is under the executive branch. And so this judge who just blocked President Trump's cut to DEI teacher training, his resume is full of DEI activism. He served on the board of groups currently suing President Trump and trained far-left activists how to avoid arrest during protests. So he's an activist judge. He shouldn't even have been in this case. The U.S. District Judge, Young Yoon, served as on the ACLU Board of Directors for years. The ACLU has filed hundreds of lawsuits against the Trump administration and is a staunch advocate of DEI. His resume is full of positions explicitly designed to promote DEI, including chair of the Boston Municipal Court Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee, chair of the Harry J. Elam Conference Committee on Racial Justice, Massachusetts Bar Diversity Task Force. So he's ruling on something that he has absolutely should be recusing himself of because of his ties to what he's ruling on. So let's get into here. So here it is about the trans policy one, though. And this has so many different issues, First Amendment and Article 2 issues. Biden-appointed judge demands Pete Hegseth to retract social media post about trans policy. And And that happened on Wednesday. The judge demanded in a Wednesday hearing that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth retract an post on X regarding his policy to restrict transgender troops in the military. Washington, D.C. District Court Judge Anna Reyes, during arguments regarding the Pentagon's attempt to ban transgender individuals from the military, demanded that Hegseth remove the post on Monday, according to Fox News. Reyes has previously said in her arguments regarding the ban that the existence of only two biological sexes, male and female, was not biologically correct. That's interesting, because it is correct. In human species, we're dimorphic species. Male and female are related to reproduction. Now, granted, not everyone's reproductive functions function, and there are some anomalies that are, whatever, but you don't necessarily regard them as not male or female. They just have physiological anomalies that develop during their time in the womb. But that is absolutely 100% correct that there are two biological sexes regarding in the human species, as all mammals and most fish and most birds and everything else. So, Reyes was appointed under former President Joe Biden in 2023, serving as the first LGBT federal judge in D.C. Oh, joy in Mudville. So, moreover, the Department of Justice filed a complaint with the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals against Reyes in February, alleging she engaged in hostile and egregious misconduct when she questioned a DOJ attorney on his religious views during arguments in a manner that compromised the dignity of the proceedings and demonstrated potential bias. The DOJ lawyers argued that Hegseth was using shorthand in his post that appeared to say they were barred without an exemption, urging Reyes to consider the exact wording of the policy. So she's going to try to determine policy here. Quote, here's something she asked her in the hearing. Do you really think you can do that? Say one thing in public and then come here to court and say something else entirely, Reyes asked in the hearing. His words are that this covers all transgender people. I'm not going to speculate that he was just being sloppy. President Trump issued an executive order on January 27 that ordered the Pentagon to update trans-identifying medical standards for military service and to rescind guidance inconsistent with military readiness. The policy allows for waivers to be granted in special cases. The myriad of transgender activist groups sued the Trump administration in January, arguing that the ban was unconstitutional under equal protection granted by the Fifth Amendment. No. Because your status as a transgender person being excluded from the military has nothing to do with the fact that you're transgender. It has to do with the fact that you're medicalized, just like someone with bone spurs or whatever other reason they exclude you from being in the military. Because you are a medical liability, and that does not help military readiness. People with asthma can't be don't work in the military. There's all kinds of reasons, medical reasons. And you are a medical reason for not being in the military just by your nature. Just by your choosing to be a medical patient for the rest of your life. So the Pentagon declined to comment on the litigation. So, and then let's see, is this one about it too? I think I had two of these on this. So anyway, and also Hegseth has ordered review of military fitness and grooming standards. Now I wonder if they're going to get some pushback on this by some fat people. The U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has initiated a comprehensive review of military standards across all branches. This review focuses on physical fitness, body composition, and grooming policies. Oh boy. Some people with some interesting hairstyles are probably going to get mad, including regulations on beards, aiming to ensure the military remains the world's most effective fighting force. The review will analyze changes in the standards since January 2015. So, here it is, an article in Breitbart about that. On Wednesday, he ordered a department-wide review of existing standards for each military branch on physical fitness, body composition, and grooming, including on beards. We must remain vigilant in maintaining the standards that enable the men and women of our military to protect the American people and our homeland as the world's most lethal and effective fighting force, Hegseth said at March 12th, 2025 memorandum ordering the review. Our adversaries are not growing weaker and our tasks are not growing less challenging. This review will illuminate how the department has maintained the levels of standards required over the recent past and trajectory of any change in those standards. So, for example, the different standards we have for male bodies and female bodies. Pete Hegseth says, our troops will be fit, not fat. Our troops will look sharp, not sloppy. We seek only quality, no quotas. Bottom line, our Department of Defense will make standards high and great again across the entire force. Now, Pentagon Press Secretary John Olyott added in a statement to Breitbart News, quote, unfortunately, the U.S. military's high standards on body composition and other metrics eroded in recent years, particularly during the tenure of former Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman Mark Milley, who has low standards for himself, who has set a bad example from the top through his own personal corpulence. Secretary Hegseth is committed to restoring high standards, and this review is the first step in doing so. So, Hegseth directed the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness to gather the existing aforementioned standards set by each military branch, review them, and how they have changed over the last decade since January 1st, 2015. The review will also look at why those standards changed and the impact of those changes. So they're not fucking around. They're like, hey, we need to be lean, mean, and fighting machines again. And Hegseth has made returning the military to its core mission of war fighting its top priority, which includes having forces ready to fit and fight. So there's more in the article, but can anyone say that's a bad thing? I can't. Anyway, thank you, Tyre Alexander, sponsor the show. You are on the board. Appreciate it. With a deuce 30 in the tip jar, Tyre says, you know, if the Dems just took the L gracefully and worked to make the country better, we would be a utopia. We would be a land of milk and honey. But instead of looking at the will of the people, they look at their self-interest. Take the L, bitches. I just embellished that for you, Tyre, just because, you know, I'm sure you would have said bitches had you thought of it. So anyway, but we got a problem. And the Democrats have been so used to using, try to use lawfare to get their way, because right now they don't have any branches of government. And so now they're trying to use lawfare. And I think some of these judges are very much overstepping their bounds. They are going far beyond what some of these things are legal and getting into policy. And the judges have no role in policy of the executive branch. And so, I think that example of this judge telling Pete Hegseth to remove a post on X is an egregious violation of First Amendment, an egregious violation of Article 2, an egregious violation of just what the judiciary is supposed to be doing. The public policy on who can participate in the military. The military is not a jobs program. Okay. It has nothing to do with, I'm sorry, medicalized people probably shouldn't be in the military. If you're medically dependent to function, you can't be in the military. Sorry. It's just, it is what it is. So that's all I got to say about that. Now, the only other articles I had open here, apparently Oregon Appeals Court has declared Measure 114 constitutional. So there's an anti-gun bill in Oregon, and their own appeals court has said it's constitutional. Ballot Measure 14, which includes requirements for a permit to purchase firearms and a limit on magazine capacity to 10 rounds, is constitutional according to that court. Now, this has already been, I think, through the Supreme Court as unconstitutional, so there's going to be a superseding court ruling on this eventually. But their decision reverses a previous lower court ruling and paves the way for the measure to potentially take effect. Critics of the measure argue that it infringes on constitutional rights, while supporters see it as a step towards enhanced gun safety. No, it doesn't enhance gun safety. Enhanced gun safety is taking training so you don't shoot yourself in the foot. That's gun safety. Stop calling it gun safety, you lying pieces of shit. And then the only other news item I had up, China has decided to shift all their beef, meat, cow imports from the United States to Canada and Brazil. Now that could be interesting. So China imports a lot of meat from the United States. And because of the tariff thing, they've decided to shift their beef imports from the U.S. to Canada to Brazil. But I'm pretty sure that the United States may be one of the largest beef producing nations in the world. And I don't know if they can make up for it by just getting it from Canada and Brazil. I don't think they can. They import a lot of beef in China. And it makes you wonder, now, the price of beef has been going nuts for a long time. And I don't know if that has part to do with it or just the general inflation or whatever. But it seems like that would increase the supply in the United States, and it would lower the cost in the United States because we're not getting it all bought up in China, right? It makes me worried about beef producers, though, too. So that's going to be a one to watch. So, and someone says, how can so many be so ignorant on economics? Just say this is true and actually happens. Beef is an international commodity. China stops buying U.S. and starts buying Brazilian and Canadian. What do you think happens? You actually think they have just tons of beef sitting in a freezer? To make up the U.S. volume, they will have to cut off other customers. Those customers then have to buy from the U.S. It is rather telling that China chooses to cozy up with Trudeau, kind of adds a lot of validity to that he's owned by China narrative. So anyway, that's one to watch. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know that they can make up for the quantity with by just getting Canadian and Brazilian beef. But in the immortal words of what's his name? Tony from West Side Story. What is the last name of Tony? Anyway, Tony, okay. In the immortal words of the Jets from West Side Story, who knows? There's lots of beef in the U.S. and not enough to make up for China's purchases from Brazil and Canada. That was terrible. Holy shit, was that bad? Did you put up with this shit every day? Why do you guys put up with this? Why do you put up with my singing? I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but anyway. All right, so that's it, guys. I got to go. Let me drop these links. There we go. Copy and paste. Here are today's links. Boom. There you are. They're in the chat. They'll be in the description. Thanks. It is Free for All Friday tomorrow. Bring your questions, and we'll be back then. And reminder before I go, don't leave. Don't click yet. This is very important. It's very important. 1 week from Monday, I'll be having my 1500th episode. And thank you, Reaction Puerto Rico, for the idea. I will be doing a kind of a call-in show, a jump-in show, of whatever, open mic show on that Monday for my 1500th episode. I may even do an extended episode. We'll see if I can finagle something with my my other gig at noon, and we'll see what happens. But that's it. Thank you. I gotta go. See you tomorrow. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.